our next presentation is a brief one, and it has to do with what's going to happen in 2016. And Southwest Research Institute, which has provided their list of science priority asteroid occultations, gave me that just about noon today. I've been trying to get it for months. Let's go to the next slide. Here are the 10 events. Oh, okay, so regarding funding, Southwest Research has provided limited funding to IOTA over the past couple of years. We've had 1 or 2 events that have been funded. There's nothing expected, but there's always a possibility something could occur. So if you want to look for one of these events next year, it'll be strictly on your own unless for some reason we're able to get money from Southwest to support the effort. So the first one will be Emma on January 27th. I wasn't able to pull down the path map, but it does go across the southern United States. This is an 11.3 magnitude star, which is sort of outside the parameters of what we gave them. We wanted to try to find events that were brighter than 10th magnitude, but this was their #1 event for 2016. So we'll need to look at that. And of course, it occurs during the winter time, but we'll have to see if the weather cooperates from this. Next slide. And a note here the fact that it has a satellite. So most of Southwest Research Institute's priorities relate to asteroids with known satellites with poorly derived orbits. The next one is going to be Ida, which is, as you know, the first asteroid with a satellite to be detected. The path here, unfortunately, goes over Europe. He gave me this event because it actually crossed the United States, but it crosses in daylight, so there's no chance of seeing this because the star is like 9th magnitude. Next slide. Okay, so now we have Namalsa, September 3rd, which is and Io, number 5. So the number 3 and number 5 are the 2 top events, or 2 of the top events in Steve's picks list for next year, so they're coincident with what I provided them. And then Amphitrite, November the 11th, coming up this year. This is the only 2015 event that's going to be magnitude 9.1, and I'm going to be making an attempt for that if the weather cooperates. Next slide. Okay, number 6 they gave me turned out, again, it crosses the United States in daylight, and there's only a narrow region up in Scandinavia, but then it's also fainter than 10th magnitude. Then we have another Io event in March, and that's going to go through southwest Mexico, and it crosses the United States again during daylight. So they didn't siphon or filter these asteroids extremely well. So some of these we're going to have to delete literally because they're not visible here. Go ahead, next slide.
Last slide.
Yeah, last slide. So Patientia is an occultation of an asteroid that I observed in South Africa, and it's coming to a place near you. That's also going through southern United States, magnitude 9.7, and I think that's the visual. I'm not sure if that's the R magnitude. I think it's the visual magnitude. It's got a really tight path, and then Lauda in the southeastern U.S. I think that goes through Georgia, and then the rest of it's in daylight as it goes northwestward across the country. And then finally, should be number 10 there, I think.
That's the last slide.
That is the last slide. Okay, I don't remember what number 10 is, but we'll publish this and it'll be available for everybody to take a look at. So.
Well, I heard from Ted, Ted, talking about 2 asteroid paths and pins next year.
I don't know if they're not on this list. I don't know anything about that. Okay. Anyway, that's not part of these 10 events, but if there are other events that cross, and they're frequent crossing events, I know there's 2 next year because I've got them on my list. I just don't remember what they are, but they're not part of the Southwest Research priority list. So anyway, any other questions?
The Iowa through Oklahoma, to go through northeast Oklahoma.
It could be. I wasn't able to get the map. I don't think so because this one here says Southeast USA, and I wrote that down much like Steve. When he puts Southeast USA, it means Oklahoma is not in the Southeast USA, so it's not on that list. Okay, yeah.
Once the satellites fall, they would go towards those satellites that we're shooting for?
Okay, the question is for the asteroids with satellites, does Southwest Research want multiple cords? And the answer is yes. You know, it's hard enough to get one cord on a satellite, and most of these asteroids with satellites have very tiny satellites. It's not like Antiope where we had two large bodies with a fairly accurate ephemeris. Typically these satellites are 1 to 10 kilometers in diameter, and if you're lucky to even get one hit. So okay, so the question was, we want to set up two stations a couple of kilometers apart. And I guess the answer would be if we had an accurate ephemeris. You know, IMCCE, where France publishes, they're the ones with the site that got hacked, they publish ephemerides, but their ephemerides are not very accurate typically. So if we had everybody in the room and we all had like 30 stations, in theory, we'd have to put them all a couple of kilometers apart and then we might be off 200 or 300 kilometers. So I wouldn't waste my time with organizing a group like that unless we had a really accurate prediction. I think Steve can probably attest to the fact that you just can't get those kind of predictions on asteroids with tiny satellites. So we're just not there yet. And even when Gaia comes in, the predictions will be primarily for the primary asteroid. Satellite data is still all over the place. So it's going to be by accident if an organized effort intercepts a small satellite of some kind. So we'll just have to base it on what the astrometry looks like and who are doing the predictions and how accurate they think they're going to be.
Remember that the error for the satellite is the quadratic sum of the error for the asteroid plus the numbers of the satellite. So it's always larger than the error for the asteroid.
Yeah, so the question was, or the comment was by Roger, was that the error in the satellite ephemeris is considerably larger than that for the primary asteroid, and that's an understatement, because obviously we have primary predictions that are way off. If you look for the one tonight, it had a pretty big error bar. So if it had a satellite, you know, the odds of seeing the satellite would be like 0, unless you were really lucky. And most of the offsets are typically north or south cross track, many kilometers apart, hundreds usually. Okay.
Everybody who comes to Las Vegas is lucky, right?
Yeah, right. Everybody that comes to Las Vegas is lucky was the comment. Okay, I guess, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the September 3rd event with that 7.5 magnitude star. It looks like that happens in western hemisphere.
Yes, right.
So any opportunity for us to hold a meeting there?
Okay, so the question was, because the September 3rd event occurs in western New Mexico, is there an opportunity to hold a meeting there? And the answer is probably yes, but September 3rd is also in the monsoon period. So the question is, do you really want to hold it there, or do you want to hold it farther up track? And I think Steve and Roger will have to talk about that and decide. Yeah. The August 27th event, which is like a week before, is off in Oklahoma, which might be better weather. So, okay, I guess that's all I've got. Thank you.
Thank you.